and welcome to TV3 News Journal. I'm Carla Beard. When Reed Health purchased Fayette Memorial, they acquired several buildings, including one at 420 West 24th Street. Reed recently announced that they have donated the building to the Interlocal Community Action Program. Plans are underway to convert it to a hub for community service organizations.
We're a community action agency designed to intervene at critical stages of the poverty cycle, and we reviewed this area in Fayette and found that nutrition, housing, and employment and training were key programs that we should invest in here in Fayette County and help this community grow and prosper.
We're excited for what it means for Fayette County and the residents of our community.
And my dreams is to create this wonderful environment for all of our citizens to be able to have a one-stop shopping for food insecurity issues and human services.
I'm excited to have a permanent spot for the Food Council to be located. We collaborate with all of the food pantries in Connorsville, and it's going to be awesome to have one spot where people can contact us if there is a need in the community, and that we can be reached by the other food pantries when they have needs as well.
We hope, that there's a food pantry here. We hope Voices has a space. We hope, ICAP can provide their services among other partners we've yet to find. And we also hope to just have a gathering space that the whole community can kind of use within the building as well.
We've operated several programs in our 6-county region: Head Start, Weatherization, we foster grandparents, retired senior volunteer program. We're a WIC grantee. We operate several programs. Housing, we've also done Housing Choice, and that's one of the reasons we're here in Fayette for the Housing Choice program. And we will put our heads together and see what other things we can do for this county.
City Parks Superintendent Catherine Good recently announced a very successful funding campaign for the J. Long Park to be located at 2nd Street and Grand Avenue. Here's more about this exciting new community park.
Purdue Extension, Community Voices, and the JCs had come together as initially wanting to do something with the park. Purdue Extension's connection to Purdue University prompted their landscape architecture class to partner with our local extension office, and that class made a project out of renovating the park. The park is going to look nothing like any of our other parks. It's moving away from those traditional jungle gyms and slides and teeter-totters. The park will also feature a walking track, a concrete walking path that goes all the way around the park. We're going to have a slide, but not a traditional slide, a slide that is built into a hill. This renovation will be completely ADA accessible. This is no tax dollars. Usually when a city builds a park, it's coming out of the city's budget, and that means your tax dollars. But this is none of that, and that's the biggest reason why it's been so amazing. It's J. Long Memorial 2nd Street Park, because all of Joel's siblings, their names all began with J. So it incorporates his entire family and him as well. This park is gonna be so awesome because it's been built financially and physically by our community.
5 years ago, Imagine Performing Arts began a collaboration with Connorsville TV3. The program is designed to encourage performing artists from around the region and to give them a conduit to reach a broad audience. Most of the performers have been musicians, but the show has also featured puppeteers, a brass band, and magicians. The members of Imagine Performing Arts shared some memories with us recently.
This began, I think, as an offshoot of our Imagine Performing Arts open mic nights that we were doing on a quarterly basis. We had some people who come to the open mic night. Hey, we need to do this. We'd like to do this more often. We'd like to do this, every couple weeks, every month, something like that. And they were mainly musicians, and our open mic night was open to pretty much everything.
Initially, I think the idea when we started, was it 4 or 5 years ago? 5 years ago, that we could probably draw enough local talent that would supply at least once a month, but we quickly found out within the next 2 or 3 shows, we didn't have enough.
Yeah, the local talent was nice, and we grabbed what we could. It's specifically through the open mics that we held. The problem is eventually you just run out of that, so we expanded, which was really nice, and that opened up stuff for us as well as stuff for them.
We've just had so many amazing, there was a young man who came from Indianapolis who could play the guitar like he was born with it. He held us mesmerized for like 20 minutes. He was amazing.
It's just a matter of time before she hits superstardom, and I really mean that. And that's Erin Colburn from Cincinnati. So she is a phenomenal guitarist that I haven't heard anyone compare to her abilities. So
I think it's really neat to have that professional recording of your group, of yourself, of your family that you're always going to have. And
a lot of times they take the YouTube recording and they send it to these locations that they would like to play, and it's kind of here. This is how I sound. This is what I do.
I really would like to have more Fayette County talent, and I hope people will reach out to TV3 or to any of us in Imagine Performing Arts and help us find you.
What I like to see is when people come and experience, all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe I could do that. And people step outside of their box. And they do try new things, and it opens up new horizons for them, which is really what Imagine Performing Arts is all about.
Imagine This airs Monday through Wednesday at 10 p.m. and Saturday at 2 p.m. on TV3 cable and online at youtube.com local TV3. If you would like to perform on the show, contact Imagine Performing Arts at facebook.com/Imagine Performing Arts. The Fayette County Public Transit needs drivers. Here is Transit Manager Nisa Wicker with more information.
COVID has put a real crunch on transit. The demand is very high within the county, and right now we're not able to actually provide the service that we really want to provide. A driver has to have a for-hire driver's license, which is just an endorsement. It's not a CDL. It's an endorsed driver's license. You go to the DMV or BMV and take a very brief little test. I've never known anybody not to pass it. They think it's totally volunteer, and that's not the case here at Transit. It is a paid position. If you're mom or dad and you have children that need to get off to school, get them off to school, come and work, and go home when they get off that bus. We're just a good bunch to work with, actually. We're actually family.
What's your favorite Girl Scout cookie? Local Girl Scouts are now taking orders for cookies. Offerings include the traditional Thin Mints and trefoils, as well as Do-si-dos and others. This year's new variety, Adventurefuls, mixes chocolate, caramel, and a hint of sea salt. Cookies are $5 a box. For convenience, booths will be set up at Walmart beginning in mid-February. Here are the Girl Scouts with more information.
Every cookie sold in the Girl Scout Cookie Program helps girls learn lifelong lessons in people skills, decision making, money management, goal setting, and business ethics. from one generation to the next. It's amazing how much you can learn from a cookie. The Girl Scout Cookie Program. Think outside the box.
Thank you for joining us this week. And as always, here is Brad Coulter looking back. Good night.
Hi, I'm Brad Coulter, and this is Looking Back. In September 1936, a good part of the country was in the throes of the Depression. Although Connersville was suffering, it wasn't in as sad a shape as some cities. Automobile manufacturing and the niche vehicles that were built here provided a small measure of stability. E.L. Cord was doing his best to keep it going. The election of 1936 was the hot topic, and Alf Landon of Kansas was the opposition to President Roosevelt. On September 5, 1936, FDR was coming through Indianapolis on a whistle-stop tour, but was not slated to make extra stops. Governor Paul V. McNutt went to work with the campaign on behalf of a stop in Connersville to help the congressional race of Finley Gray, who was expected to have a tight contest. The president, who had had a long relationship with Congressman Gray, agreed to stop and say a few words on Finley's behalf. The pair had a lengthy friendship, as Finley Gray had served on the Naval Affairs Committee in the House when FDR was Assistant Secretary of the Navy under President Woodrow Wilson. On the back of the train that day, with FDR, Finley Gray, Paul McNutt, and the president's son, James, was for a brief moment Connersville Mayor Bill Dentlinger. 8,000 people stood at the railroad crossing near 10th and Eastern to hear the president talk about his long friendship with Finley Gray, and told the locals about the tour he was taking to look at the drought conditions in the Midwest that year. After a few minutes and a delegation of little girls presenting Betsy Roosevelt with flowers, the train was back on its way to Washington. This stop must have been one of Finley Gray's proudest moments in public life. President Roosevelt went on to win the biggest landslide in presidential history and carried Finley Gray into his last victory. He would retire in the spring of 1939.